Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. You know, I have more than 1,000 videos on this channel, and many of them deal with community, forging community, joining community, MAGs, mutual assistance groups, teams, the fact that we need to work together to get through what's coming. I've mentioned tribes in the past. I've talked about how we as humans are tribal in nature, and just the last 100 or so years has kind of whitewashed and put this creamy icing over the top of our tribal nature, and it's all good and we don't need tribes anymore, and really we're all still very tribal, and soon as something happens bad, tribes are coming right back out again, and you're either going to be in a tribe. I've said this before, you're either going to be in a tribe, join a tribe, or get run over by a tribe. Right? And when I've made these comments, when I've done these videos, several of y'all have told me, hey, you need to get a copy of John Mosby's books on tribes. And I heard it enough that I finally went out and found it. And so this is going to be a book review and recommendation of Forging the Hero, Who Does More is Worth More, and then the subtitle here, if you can see it, A Tribal Strategy for Building Resilient Communities and Surviving the Decline of Empire. Bum, bum, bum. It's written by John Mosby, a nom de plume. Let's talk about John Mosby a little bit. I think it's a lot why I like his work, because he thinks like I do, but on a deeper level. He's a former Special Forces operator. He's been there and done that. And so we come from a very similar background. We've gone to the same schools. We've been around the same environment. We've gone out and seen the world. And what he did while he was in the far-flung places is he started thinking about tribes, and he put it down in this work. It's not a very big work, but man, is it meaty. Wow. In many ways, this reads like a master's thesis. If that works for you, it does. But it reads like a master's thesis in that, he goes into the body of work, the body of literature, and he brings things from that in to support his points that he's making. And then in other ways, it's written by a soldier, right? There's some real language in here, but he gets his point across. And he introduced me in this book to a man named Sir John Glubb, who wrote a piece on the decline of empires, an excellent piece. And so he takes a very good look at that, and then he says, look, here's what's happening. Our empire is on the way out. What is going to replace it? You better get in a tribe. And then he talks about what tribes are, and he uses many different examples from history and different cultures. He kind of sticks with, throughout the whole book, a Nordic, Viking-esque tribal explanation, and he uses key words and phrases, which he explains, but then they get the point across better than English, right? Instead of having to write a whole paragraph, he can just use the same word again. But tribes are tribes, right? He just uses mostly Scandinavian, Northern European tribes as an example, hence the logo there. Man, it's good. It makes me think. It is, books that I like, I actually don't take care of. I write all in them. I've got pages bent down in here like that. Matter of fact, here, let me just, off the cuff, let's see what I underlined. The subtitle of this one is, The Dude That Throws the First Effective Punch Usually Wins the Fight. And then what I underlined and put a little star next to, this is not simply a matter of being willing to hit first. It is about recognizing the inevitability of the fight before the first blow is delivered. And then he goes into a whole philosophy of defense versus offense and things like that. I have things highlighted in here. I read it. My wife is now reading it, and when she's done, I'm going to read it again, and I'm going to underline more, because what he does is he brings these concepts right into here, dissects them, sometimes with brutal honesty, and makes you think about it. And so what I want to do is go back in here. I've taken notes in the book. I'm going to take more notes when I read it again of just areas I want to pursue, thoughts I want to kind of develop more for me and mine. This is not a, read it in 5-minute book. Like I said, it's meaty, it's thick, it's intellectually deep. And at the same time, it's written in a way that you can understand it quite well. I recommend it. If you're at all interested in tribalness, I call it neo-tribal, right? Because we're kind of coming back to that concept. And if you're interested in this, I'm going to read it. Tell you this, though. This is not a book that you read this and all of a sudden you're a tribal warlord. He's brutal in his assessment of the average American and what we say we want and how we act and what we do and what's really going to be required when we revert back to, when we move forward to a new tribal society. If you're interested in building a community, if you're interested in forming a mag, if you're interested in just gathering your kith and kin around you at your farm or ranch when times get hard, you need to read this book. The sooner, the better. Take notes. It was hard to find. I will look up again. I'm going to have to get on the internet, find out where you can get it, and I'll put a link down below. Recommend it highly. I'm now looking for more of his books to read. So there you go. I haven't read a book that's this intellectually dense for a while. And for that reason, I really enjoyed it also. This is a good book. If you're interested, I recommend you get it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure you're going to like it too. All right, I'll see you out there.